Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Real English Voices, the podcast dedicated to helping you speak English with confidence and clarity. I'm Tom.
And I'm Ria. And Tom, today we're tackling a topic that sounds deceptively simple, but can actually be the biggest hurdle for English learners, especially when they meet someone new. We're talking about the art of introducing yourself confidently.
Oh, absolutely, Ria. Think about it. That first impression, that initial moment of saying, "Hi, I'm," and then having to transition into a real conversation, that's where the nerves really kick in. It's not just about the vocabulary, is it? It's about managing that feeling of being judged, of finding the right tone.
Exactly. It's a performance, in a way, but a natural one. I remember when I first moved to London, even though I thought my English was good, the sheer speed and casualness of native speakers introducing themselves and jumping into banter completely threw me off. I'd feel my face get hot, my heart pound, and I'd just mumble my name and where I was from.
That is such a relatable experience, Ria. It's the transition from classroom English to real world English. In the classroom, you have the script. Hello, my name is Tom. I am a teacher. I enjoy reading. But in real life, you meet someone at a networking event or maybe a coffee shop, and they just say, "Hey, I'm Sarah. Nice shirt." And suddenly, you're expected to match that level of informality and spontaneity.
Right. So let's break down the key to conquering this. It starts with mindset, actually. The first thing we need to tell our listeners is to shift their focus from being perfect to being present. When you're introducing yourself, the person you're talking to doesn't care if you use the perfect present continuous tense. They care if you sound like a genuine, approachable human being.
That's a powerful distinction. Being present means actively listening to their name and, perhaps most importantly, having a genuinely warm and clear delivery of your own name. Your name is the first piece of information you give. Say it clearly. Don't rush it. Give it the respect it deserves.
Let's practice a few scenarios, shall we? Because the introduction changes based on the context. If you're at a formal business meeting, you wouldn't say, "Hey, what's up? I'm Tom."
No, definitely not. In a formal setting, say a business introduction or a job interview, the confidence comes from conciseness and relevant detail. I would start with a clear, "Good morning, I'm Tom Davies, and I'm the lead project manager here at Stellar Corp. It's a pleasure to finally meet you." Notice I included my full name and my role right away. It establishes my context and credibility immediately.
And the key phrase there is the clear delivery. It's the difference between, "Hi, I'm Tom Davies, project manager," all run together, and "Good morning, I'm Tom Davies," a brief pause, and "I'm the lead project manager here." That pause is the sound of confidence. It gives the listener time to process your name.
Now, let's switch to a casual setting. You're at a friend's birthday party, the noise level is high, and your friend says, "Tom, this is my friend Maria." How do you handle that quick, casual intro?
In this situation, you need to rely on the universal connector, a genuine smile and a bit of enthusiasm. I'd say, "Hi, Maria. Great to meet you. I'm Maria. I'm actually a university friend of Sarah's. How do you know her?" See, I gave my name, a simple detail about my connection to the host, and then I immediately tossed a question back to her.
That is brilliant, because that question, "How do you know her?" instantly transforms the introduction from a dry statement into a conversation starter. It takes the pressure off you to keep talking and puts the conversational ball into their court. This is a crucial technique for English learners who might feel exhausted or stressed trying to formulate the next sentence.
Exactly. And the response you get is also a valuable listening opportunity. If she says, "Oh, we work together," you now have a new thread to pull on. "Oh, which company are you at? What do you do there?" Learning English confidently isn't about having 1,000 phrases memorized. It's about having 3 or 4 reliable conversational patterns that you can use to keep the dialogue flowing.
Let's talk about a situation that many learners find awkward, talking about their job or their studies. There's this tendency to translate literally from their native language, and it can sound a bit stiff. For example, if someone is an accountant, they might say, I am an accountant in the firm of Johnson and Sons. I have been working there for 5 years.
That's very formal, isn't it? A more natural, engaging way is to describe what you do and why you like it, or what you are aiming for. So instead of just saying, I am an accountant, you could say, I work in finance. I'm an accountant helping small businesses manage their taxes. It's actually really interesting because I get to see how different businesses grow.
See the difference? That second one tells me a story. It has emotional color. It's not just a title, it's a window into their world. And if they're still studying, they can lean into their ambition. Instead of, I am studying English at the university, which is a bit flat, they can say, I'm currently in my final year studying English literature. I'm hoping to become a translator, which is why I'm trying to practice my speaking now.
That last part is great, which is why I'm trying to practice my speaking now. That's a perfect example of owning your journey. It preempts any feeling of being self-conscious about your English level. You are saying, yes, I am a learner, and I am actively working on it. This conversation is part of that process. That is incredibly confident.
It transforms a potential weakness into a strength, doesn't it? It invites the native speaker to be supportive rather than critical. They immediately know that speaking clearly and maybe speaking a little slower would be helpful, and they are usually happy to oblige.
Absolutely. Let's delve into the actual mechanics of a confident voice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. There are 3 components to work on: projection, pace, and intonation.
Projection first. We're not saying shout, but speak from your diaphragm. Too often, learners mumble because they are worried about making a mistake. A clear, moderately loud voice signals, I value what I'm saying, and I want you to hear it. It's a nonverbal cue of self-respect.
Then there's pace. When we're nervous, we tend to speed up, don't we? We try to get the whole introduction out in one big, anxious breath. But a fast pace is difficult for your listener to follow, especially if they are not used to your accent. Consciously slow down. Imagine you have all the time in the world. Speaking slowly is not a sign of poor English. It's a sign of control.
And finally, intonation. English is a language of hills and valleys. Your voice needs to rise and fall to convey meaning and emotion. In an introduction, your voice should generally lift on your name and on the key information you want to share. For example, I'm Tom should have a slight upward inflection to sound friendly and open. And when you ask a question, the voice should rise at the end. How are you enjoying the party? That's a classic friendly intonation pattern.
Let's bring in the element of personal stories. An introduction that only contains facts is dry. An introduction that has a little touch of personality is magnetic. Think of one simple, quick fact about yourself that is slightly unusual or just gives a taste of your personality.
I love this idea. For me, it might be, Hi, I'm Tom. I actually teach English, but I spend all my free time trying to learn how to bake the perfect sourdough bread, with very mixed results. That little detail about the sourdough is a hook. It's relatable, and it gives the other person something to smile about and ask a follow-up question on.
Exactly. And for an English learner, that personal fact can be an easy win because you've practiced saying that one sentence perfectly. You're prepared. Maybe it's, Hi, I'm Ria. I'm studying marketing, but my secret passion is watching old black and white movies. I'm always looking for recommendations. The key here is not to give a long speech, but a single, intriguing sentence.
We should also mention the power of nonverbal communication. In an introduction, your body language speaks volumes before you even say a word. Stand up straight. Make eye contact. This is crucial in Western cultures. Making eye contact shows honesty and engagement.
And the handshake, if appropriate. A firm, confident handshake is a physical act of confidence. Combined with the smile and the clear voice, you are projecting an image of someone who is comfortable in their own skin. Even if you are trembling inside, the act of standing tall and speaking clearly can actually trick your brain into feeling less anxious. It's a feedback loop.
It is. It's what we call fake it till you make it, but in a positive sense. You're simply adopting the posture of confidence, and the feeling will follow. Now, let's go through the anatomy of a complete, confident introduction for a casual social setting, piece by piece.
Perfect. I'll be the person introducing myself.
Go for it.
Okay, I walk up, I smile, I extend my hand, and I say clearly, "Hi, I'm Ria. Nice to meet you."
A clear, simple opening. Perfect. Now I introduce myself. I'm Tom. Nice to meet you too. What's your second step?
I immediately offer the personal context. I'm actually a good friend of Michael's. We studied together a few years ago. You look familiar. How do you know Michael?
Excellent. You've established your connection and asked an open-ended question. I respond, "Oh, I'm his cousin. We grew up together. I just flew in this morning from New York."
Now I have a hook. New York. I acknowledge that and follow up. Wow, New York. That's quite a trip. Are you here for the weekend, or are you staying for a little longer?
And just like that, we have moved beyond the introduction and into a smooth, natural conversation. The entire process took maybe 15 seconds, but it was smooth, engaging, and gave both of us material to continue the dialogue. No awkward silences, no stumbling.
And the key is the continuous back and forth. An introduction is not a monologue. It is the first exchange in a dialogue. It's a dance. Listen to what they say, pick out one or two keywords, and use those to formulate your next question.
Let's give our listeners a challenge this week. We want them to practice introducing themselves out loud, but not to another person, at least not yet. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eye, smile, and practice your confident 15-second introduction.
Practice the projection, the pace, and the intonation. Record yourself on your phone. If you sound like you believe what you're saying, that's when you know you're ready to take it to the real world. Because the confidence comes from the preparation. It's not magic, it's a skill you can build.
Absolutely. And remember, every native English speaker you meet was once a baby learning the language. They were once a nervous, fumbling child trying to string two words together. They have patience for you. Most people are genuinely happy to meet new people and hear your story, even if you deliver it with an accent or a slight hesitation.
Your English learning journey is a marathon, not a sprint. And the introduction is just the starting line. Once you cross that line with confidence, the rest of the race becomes so much easier and so much more enjoyable. Don't aim for perfection, aim for connection.
That is the perfect message to end on, Ria. Aim for connection. Thank you all for joining us for this episode of Real English Voices. We hope you feel motivated to go out there and introduce yourselves with renewed confidence.
Yes, go out and be bold and tell us about your confident introductions. You can find us and leave comments on our social media pages.
We'll be back next time with more tips and advice on speaking English naturally. Until then, keep practicing, keep smiling, and keep connecting. Goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone.
And the shared laugh immediately creates a bond. It's an instant human connection that transcends any language barrier. It brings us back to that core idea. Aim for connection, not perfection.
Now, I want to talk about something slightly different. The short, powerful, elevator pitch introduction. This is essential for professional networking. It's an introduction that has to convey who you are, what you do, and what you're looking for, all in about 60 seconds.
This requires a very different kind of preparation. It's not spontaneous, it's highly scripted, but you need to deliver it as if it's the most natural thing in the world. What are the three non-negotiable components of a confident professional intro?
First, your identity and expertise, your name and your main skill. For example, I'm Ria Sharma and I specialize in digital marketing for independent bookstores. It's precise.
Second, your impact or challenge. What problem are you solving, or what project are you currently focused on? Right now, I'm focused on tackling the challenge of getting Gen Z to pick up a physical book instead of a tablet. That adds drama and interest.
And third, the call to action or invitation. What do you want out of this interaction? It's not a request for a job, but an invitation for a relevant conversation. I'm looking to connect with people who have experience running successful social media campaigns in the publishing industry.
When you put those three together, you get a solid, confident, and professional introduction that tells me everything I need to know and gives me a clear path for a follow-up conversation. That is the pinnacle of a confident professional introduction.
And listeners, notice the language used in those examples. It uses strong verbs and concise language. I specialize. I'm focused on tackling the challenge. I'm looking to connect. These are powerful professional words that make you sound like an expert in your field.
Let's do a quick recap of the physical confidence cues. They are just as important as the words. We talked about standing straight, making eye contact, and the firm handshake. What's one more nonverbal cue that signals confidence?
I would say open posture. Don't cross your arms over your chest. Keep your hands visible. This shows that you are open and receptive to the conversation. Crossing your arms, even if it's just a habit, signals defensiveness or closed-offness, and that's the opposite of confident.
Absolutely. And also, think about the use of your hands when you speak. Gestures can actually help you think and recall words more easily. Use moderate hand gestures to illustrate a point or emphasize a word. It makes you look dynamic and engaged.
We've covered formal, casual, and professional introductions. Let's finish with the introduction that comes up most often in the English learning world, the introduction in an English class or a conversation group. This can feel like a high-pressure situation because everyone is listening specifically to your English.
Oh, that is the most vulnerable setting. My advice here is to use the shared context to your advantage. Everyone there is on the same journey, so you can be a little more open about the why of your learning.
For example, a confident introduction in that setting could be, "Hi everyone, I'm Tom. I'm from Japan, and I've been studying English for about 2 years. I'm focusing on improving my conversational fluency this month because I'm traveling to Canada next month. I'm a little nervous, but I'm really excited to practice with all of you."
That is perfect. Why? Because it's specific, it's relatable, and it uses the emotion of nervousness in a positive way. It's authentic. And every single person in that room can relate to being nervous about speaking a new language. You've created instant solidarity.
And the specificity is key. Saying, "I'm focusing on improving my conversational fluency," is a much better hook than saying, "I want to improve my English." It tells the group what you're working on so they know how to help you.
So, as we bring this episode to a close, remember this. A confident introduction is not about having a perfect accent or an impossibly large vocabulary. It is about clarity of purpose, warmth of delivery, and authenticity of self.
Be clear about your name, be warm with your smile and your tone, and be authentic about who you are and why you're learning English. That is the secret sauce. You already have all the tools you need. It's just about combining them with a little bit of boldness.
The greatest improvement in your English speaking confidence will come from accepting that making mistakes is not an event to be avoided. It is an inevitable and necessary part of the learning process. Mistakes are proof that you are trying.
And trying is the most confident thing you can do. So go out there, stand tall, speak clearly, and introduce yourself to the world.
Thank you again for tuning in to Real English Voices. We love being a part of your English journey. We'll be back soon with more insightful conversations.
Until next time, keep speaking with confidence.
Goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone.